Hello, Hayley Jane. How are we?
Hello, Debbie. Debbie, Dolly, Ronan Keating.
It's not Ronan Keating.
Sorry.
I didn't take his
I'm
full
still
title.
shook. I'm actually still shook that that's your, not the full title, no.
It's a great name.
It's a
No? Oh,
fantastic name.
stop. How are
Ronan.
we?
Good, yeah. And
Good.
excited to be back chatting to you.
Yeah. And this week we are chatting about, is it just us, or is it hard to find the time and the energy to play? And then if we don't, do we feel guilty about it
Mm,
as parents? And we're at different stages again, so this is nice because you're at the baby coming to wobbler
yeah.
stage.
Starting to wobble.
Yeah, and I'm further on down the road.
Mm,
And I think what we just want to do in this episode is just make you feel less guilty
yeah.
about maybe thinking that you're not playing enough because, well, we have so much to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think as well, online can really affect us when we're looking at what other people are doing with their babies as well. Because
Mm,
you're like, oh, they're doing this and they're on the floor and they have a tough tray and they have this and I'm not doing it because I don't have time or energy. But that's okay.
yeah. And I think overall, like for most parents, most of the time, the general thing that I hear anyway is I'm not doing enough.
Mm.
I'm not doing enough play, and then I should be doing more. So this like kind of heavy burden
Yeah.
around play and feeling guilty about it. And to be honest, that's me myself as well. I feel a little bit like that, and I'm a play therapist, so I kind of had this vision of when I become a mother, I can't wait. I was like, I can't wait to play with my own child because I'd been playing with lots of other children for
It
years.
sounds really odd. I've been
Sounds
playing.
really strange.
I've been playing with children for years. I can't wait to play with my own.
But literally, I was like, I like it's time now to play with my own child, but I'm just so tired and like
Mm-hmm.
there's so much else to do. And
Yeah,
when you have a child who wants to play with you all the time, it's really hard to say no.
totally.
So it's triggering or something.
Yeah.
I struggle with that myself, but I'm not leaping about playful all the time at home. Um, and I think there's also confusion about what actually is play
Yeah,
and how much of it we should or shouldn't be doing.
I know. That should word again comes
Should
up
again.
all the time. I'm like, we need to ditch all the shoulds
Mm-hmm.
and like switch in the word could. Like, if something should comes into your mind, like I should be playing, it can be like, okay, switch out should. I could, blow bubbles on their tummy.
Yeah.
That is play. We are getting so sensory there with the
Mm-hmm.
baby, and that's what they need, and they're making sense of the world and trying to figure out where they stop when the world begins. So all
Yeah.
that lovely sensory play, like from our voices to humming and rocking and that rhythmic sensation, like that's
Yeah.
all playful activity, and that's how they're learning and getting to know the world a little bit better and you a little bit better.
And I think it's the small interactions, isn't it, that maybe we don't give enough weight to or kind of acknowledge enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I didn't sit down on the mat or take out the big box of Lego for an hour, but you had playful interactions or playfulness while you're eating your dinner or playfulness like while you're chatting to them and you're having a bit of that's all included. That all
Yes.
matters.
So you are still playing
Yes.
when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And even with like the toys, you feel like when they're small, and I'm not saying I didn't buy the toys because I did. Like we had
Yeah.
every sort of paraphernalia going. Smith's Toys was in our
Yeah.
sitting room, and everyone wants to buy them toys and things. But like it does come back to this simplistic, basic type of play, and like it still happens with babies and wobblers and toddlers and even older children that they get more crack out of the box.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And
We
somebody was asking me recently about play with babies, and I know you had it up for Jack as well. The heuristic play.
yeah, yeah.
Like that's magic.
That's magic. That's where we're at now. He will still prefer to play with any household item, anything that's dirty usually and not suitable, like a mat from the door or a shoe that he's trying to lick the sole of or
Gonna
something.
lick the shoe.
Rather than the lovely toys. And as I left him there to come here, he was playing with my mum and he was on our big play mat, all the toys around him. And he had, the real skinny part of the Hoover for getting in around the corners.
Oh yeah.
He had that, and he was making echo kind of
Oh, yeah.
down into it. and she was doing it down into that, and all the toys around them, but it was this Hoover part that's probably filthy, like that he wanted to play with.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the environmental stuff and it's the interactive stuff really, and not just for the little ones though. Don't you
No.
find that as they get older, it's still
Yeah, for all of them. Just to explain heuristic play, just for anybody who mightn't have heard of it, because it's like I hadn't heard of it until I did.
It's not something that rolls off the tongue.
And I was like, excuse me, what is this?
That?
Yeah, but it's basically you get your basket and you fill it with all of your random rubbish, basically, that you have around the house. Anything from a kitchen roll holder to a like brush or
wooden spoons.
Yeah, things that make noise, like cotton ball things, like anything really that you have lying around that are just general household objects.
Yeah, environmental things that make noises that are some element of sensory or fit into each other or roll, stack, like. Yeah, I have rollers and
like hair
shower
rollers.
loofahs and things because they're kind of scratchy and weird.
They're good because they have a nice little texture for the tactile input as well. They're lovely. So like we don't have to have a load of toys.
No.
So don't feel under pressure.
No.
To be getting them loads of
And
bits.
you know what? I feel like, so if I want to cook or do something, I will definitely be switching out and rotating the heuristic or the kind of household items basically.
Yeah.
And I have one cupboard in the kitchen, one low cupboard that he's allowed into, literally physically gets into it, like, and I have, like, he likes
Where's
to play
Jack?
with the breast pump parts,
The breast pump parts
and the old bottles, and the like, they're all in there. But I will switch it out a bit because he can get bored. He knows what's in it, and sometimes I'm like, guess what, Jack? And I open it and I just like look excited, and he's excited to play with that. But for me as well, do you know what it is with that kind of play? It's kind of peaceful. For him, he gets really engrossed. It's early maths and science as well, but it's not this like light up. You know, you gave him that toy,
which one?
the tree house.
Oh yeah.
And your one
Apple
tree is that goes through my
Elsie
head.
had that,
like,
and she just like banged the thing into it and just to make that sound.
And you know those kind of toys
I still
where
dream about
they're
that.
ringing in our ears, you're trying to go to sleep at night, and this tune is still going and it's lighting up, and it's usually the VTech stuff, and I was like, whoa. Sometimes I'm like, no, I cannot with this treehouse thing or whatever.
Batteries out.
Batteries are, oh, it's broken, it's gone to sleep. Oh no, oh, it's gone to sleep.
Sugar.
So I find that kind of heuristic play is really peaceful because he's just getting engrossed in it, and I'm also getting engrossed, and he knows that's his time, so it's the independent play skills. But I was only laughing yesterday about that apple tree thing because I was like, you're one, the voice of the apple tree lady is the same voice for all the other VTech stuff
really?
I have, and
Didn't
even
know
the
that.
small little, like, we've a small telephone, like he's and little walkie-talkie thing, and there's a farm, I think, and then he was in his cousin's the other day, and it was the same, and I'm like, that lady's doing all the voices, you know, she does
She's
this
minted.
I laugh, and I just like imagine her in a recording studio or something, and they're like, no, you need to go again there. She's like, one, go again there. Apple, like, how do they even do it? Like,
And we're wondering why they have like funny like accents like
I
that, like
know.
ours.
yeah. So yeah,
but
anyway.
the natural element of it is lovely, and it's not this artificial sounds that are coming from it. Like
'Cause
they're
there's-
making them themselves.
and they're great toys too. He loves those things that are kind of lighting up when you know, they respond to him.
Yeah.
But I think that's also play when they're just rummaging in a box. That's play. And you don't
Absolutely.
have to be down with them.
No,
all
because
the
I always loved that in college when we were doing it, the 6 stages of play. You know, the part in 6 stages of play, and you have your like unoccupied play,
Yeah.
where they're just like hitting things on their
Yeah.
play gym, and that's still play where they're just discovering, and then you have your solitary play where they're playing on their own, and then it's like, do you know a lovely one that I, especially if you're a teacher listening or if you're working in Montessori or even for your own children at home, the parallel play is a lovely one to watch,
Yeah.
even when they're just alongside each other,
Yeah.
and they're not necessarily playing with each other. It's a really nice one that you'll see a
It's
lot in
so
schools,
gorgeous,
and it's
yeah.
so lovely, and they're not even interacting with each other, but it's just that connection that's still there
Yeah.
by being near each other. And then it's like the associative play. And another lovely one is the onlooker play.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Because that one is where they're watching other children play with things and learning from that.
Yeah.
And I remember when Freddie was in junior infants, I think, and I got a call off his teacher, and she was like, oh, this was about October time, I think, and she was like, just giving you a call because Freddie is not playing with his friends on the yard. He's not playing with anybody. And I, you know, your initial thought is, no, my child is alone.
Yeah, of course.
Need to go and save him quick. I'm taking him out of that school.
Right, that's it. We're done.
That's it, we're done. No, but you know, your initial thought is like when the teacher rings you or the school rings you, you're like, no, not my baby, all alone.
God, yeah.
And I just said, what is he doing? And she said, he's watching Elsie's class. So his sister was in senior infants.
Yeah.
And he's watching her class play football. And when the ball goes out, he's getting the ball for them and going back. And I just said to her, is he happy? And she said, oh, yeah, he's happy out.
Delighted.
And I said, well, then I'm happy out. I was like, obviously, I don't want it to continue forever. You know, you want them to have social play and collaborative play with other people. But I was like, if he's happy and he's doing that, then I'm absolutely sound with that. And he was just learning from them. So and he loves football. So he was watching them. He was getting the ball. He was on. Yeah, he was looking on. And like those skills that they can learn by watching others, like that's like scaffolding skills for them, isn't it?
For sure.
Even how they interact with each other, how, you know, what's fair, what's not fair.
Yep.
All of those schoolyard games are really important for them to learn. But only for, I think I had the knowledge of it. I think I would have panicked, or I would have brought it up with him. You know, why aren't you playing with your friends? Is there something wrong? Like, what's, you know, all this over questioning.
Yeah.
We tend to do as parents. Like, if you hear anything is going on, like, what's going on? Who did this? Why? We want to fix it.
Yeah.
But he didn't need to fix it at all. And like, I was really appreciative of the teacher for giving me the call, just to give me the heads up, because I thought it was really like nice of her to notice. Yeah. Because we can't notice everything as teachers, obviously, either. So it was great that she filled me in. But after that, he got bored of watching.
He probably moved on when he was
like,
ready.
right, I'll go and play with these guys over here. But that onlooker one is a lovely one. Just if your child is the child who sits on the fringes or on the outside and watches,
don't forget about that part.
That's okay. Do you know, that's really okay for them to do. Yeah. And I'm always going back to this, like, are they happy?
Yeah.
Do they look happy? Like, are they enjoying watching?
Being the onlooker, yeah.
Yes. And then that's perfectly fine if they're not ready to engage with the play yet. Yeah. And it's always coming back to that yet, isn't it?
And it's amazing how naturally he moved on when he was ready, and that play always kind of does that, doesn't it? Where they'll move on, they'll ebb and flow and work in and out of things if we just create the environment to let them. And, you know, that's all it is. It's so simple. And that's coming back to then not putting pressure on yourself as a parent to be setting up play or sitting for so long. Or, you know, I also think if a child's asking, will you play with me, and having to say, well, no, actually, and just because you don't feel like it, and the guilt that comes in there, but it's okay to say no, or to say, like, I've done some posts and stuff on armchair play where you're sitting down and the play, even if we're lying down, and you can do, you know, the hide and seek stuff and like leaving them off, and you can still be connected and still let them know that like you care and you want to play, and say no, because that's you demonstrating your boundaries as well, and being authentic in the relationship, where it's like, no, I'm exhausted, or I don't want to play right now, but I totally get that you do, and I'm looking forward to playing with you tomorrow or later, but right now it's a no for me, you know, and that's like grand.
The curiosity around it then, because mine, especially one of them, I won't say which one, would be particularly, you know, they would ask me a lot, like, will you play with me? Will you play with me? And like, both myself and my husband, we do feel a pang of guilt. Like, you're like, oh, feck it. You know, I should really go playing with them. But like, life is life. We have to get other things done. And there's often an alternative to the play that they want. So sometimes they will come to me and be like, will you play football? Will you play art or whatever? And I genuinely don't have the time. I'm like, you know, the acknowledging, like, I know you love to play and I don't have the time because I have to do this. I wonder, do you want to play a word game while I'm doing this? So it's still the connection. So it's like, we'll play categories and I'll say orange, apple, pear, plum, or, you know, myself and Freddie will do the football clubs, even though I'm no good at it, but he loves teaching me them. Or Elsie will sit at the counter and play hangman, and I have to guess the letters and she writes them down. But I'm pottering away about my business.
Yeah.
Literally, like doing the dinner, doing whatever. And they're still feeling connected. And then sometimes I just flat out say, no, I can't because I have to do this.
Sometimes it's
and
just
that's
a no.
okay. And still get curious, like, I wonder what you could do.
Yeah.
A really good thing that I did with one of them, again, I'm not going to call either of them out, was one of them was finding it really tricky to engage in that independent play. You know, they were like, I don't know what to do. Like, you know, this boredom thing.
Yeah.
And God, we definitely need to do a full episode on letting them be bored, because it's so important for creativity. But what we did a few years ago was like made a little lunchbox of choices, a choice box of things that you could do on your own. So it was like play solitaire, you know, up at the cards, make bracelets, do art, play an instrument. You know, there was all these things, and it was just things that they could do by themselves.
Yeah.
So at least then it was like, I wonder what you choose from your choice box, and then it made it playful again. So then they're like pottering off, going, oh yeah, I have a choice. That. I have a choice, and I can get this out, especially for children who are struggling with power or connection or all those types of things, that they're still able to go off and choose something by themselves, and then, you know, play with it for a while. And you'd be surprised. Mine some to be like, I'm bored. I'm like, I can't wait to see what you come up with. And they're just like, ugh. But no sooner I've said it, off they potter. And they'll throw on some music, and they're using the sensory toys, and they're like making an obstacle course.
I know.
And
amazing like, play comes out of boredom. And then that confidence, it's there's really good studies on like how the boredom helps them be like trust themselves and like kind of resilient to the confidence piece that comes out of like, oh yeah, I look what I did there when I didn't know what to be doing, but I do actually know, and I can think of good ideas, and I'm an inventor, and you know, that kind of stuff. So I guess like when it comes to feeling guilty or feeling like you don't have time for play, or maybe you don't even like play. I work with so many parents that are like, I don't feel playful, I'm not very good at it, their daddy kind of does that, or the other parent does that, it's just not for me. It's like, yeah, this is okay.
And I meet a lot of parents like that too, where you feel like the other one's the fun one.
I know, yeah.
And that's really hard.
But I think, like, if you think about how cognitive we are, and especially, I'm going to just say it for mums, because they're usually the managers of the family, and like, we have the to-do list, we also have to do the dinner, then it's this and so. If you're like most mothers, I know it's not everyone, but that you've got all these things to do, then you're in your cognitive part of your brain, you're not in the play center, and that can just kind of dim the light, but it can be reignited. It just takes, it's like a muscle that needs to be, you know, flexed and worked on, and but it can just feel like you're like, no, I just don't feel playful. I'm not ever in the mood, and I feel awkward or like silly when I play, and it can feel uncomfortable, and that's not unusual at all.
No,
not at all.
Please, like,
so many parents say
it for
that to
yourself.
Me. Yeah. And start small. Start with something you do like. And we all have play personalities as well, so not everything will be your cup of tea. Yeah. Jack loves an L rough and tumble, and I'm kind of like, oops, be careful. Like, he wants to throw, and like John's brilliant at that. Yeah. I'm not going to be the rough and tumble person.
Yeah, I love a bit of rough and tumble myself.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm probably be the one. With you know, they're like, what a wrestle. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, I like doing it with pillows and stuff where he bumps off them. He loves doing that.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
But it's more cuddly than actually slamming down.
Yeah, yours are a different stage that you're hardly going to go.
I know.
Clotheslining your baby.
They get very like boisterous and playful, or like kind of like hardcore slamming down already. He really wants to
get that real input.
Yeah, they do Jackie Slam, and he slams down. You know,
when you do play the rough and tumble, just a little tip for you guys: it's important to bring in a safe word. So, or like, it'll be different for us every time. Sometimes it's surrender, sometimes it's bananarama, but like, this is just like the freeze thing. So when somebody says Bananarama. We all go, freeze, and everybody stops. Like
Yeah.
me, you, like nobody moves. And that's even like part of starting consent as well. That
100%, yeah.
when we say the word, everybody stops. And we'll have learned that outside of the playing, like we'll have practiced that before we're doing the rough and tumble, and we'll remember the safe word, because that's
So important.
important that nobody is getting absolutely hammered
I know.
in the playing.
Is it always ends up in tears?
Yeah.
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 But
You will have
yes.
one that will still get in another whack
Oh,
before
yeah.
the freezing.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, what'd you say? I forgot the word.
Forgot that one there. Whack.
But that's all right too.
Yeah.
But with the creating the play, I just after thinking of a game that they were playing, like that they come up with a good bit, like all the freaking toys, I swear to God, and they have like a bottle, the big bottle of water, empty, the Tesco one, and a piece of kitchen roll balled up with a go-go around it, and they're playing baseball in the kitchen.
With a bottle
And they are whacking it, and
Yeah.
they are having the best crack
It's
ever, and the
mad.
big bang that the bottle makes when the thing hits it,
Yeah.
and like hilarious.
And you could get them any bat and ball and whatever.
Yeah.
It's just.
And they had made up their own one. Like it's really creative. It's really good. But yeah, I think it's funny as well, just to reflect on yourself, like you said, what do you like to play? So like if mine are coming to me and they're like, they want to play something I don't want to play, and I'm lazy arse most of the time. So if it's like something energetic, I'm like, no chance. I will, however. So I'm like, I'm not up for playing football. I'm tired. I will, however, play a board game.
Yeah.
Now, I freaking love board games. Like
See, they're not for me.
I love them.
I'm not a board game.
I
I kind of switch off my
I
brain.
would sit and play any board game. Like,
Yeah.
isn't it funny the different
Yeah.
things
Oh,
that
no.
we like? Whereas I hate small world play.
I love a bit of small world.
There you go. Never did. Never had the dollhouse. Never
Love
like.
the talking teddies and all.
Yeah, no,
No.
my things never spoke. I just thought it was so
You never
ridiculous.
know,
Like,
Debbie.
yeah, no, they were. I was just
Really?
like, can't. It
Oh
just
my
was
God.
not ignited in me. And it's funny because one of them did and one of them didn't. And it's just so
Yeah,
like
it's just
and
so individual. Like,
just to know for yourself as well, they don't have to play in a particular way. Like your
Oh my
child
God,
does not have
100%.
to like small
Play is
world
play.
play.
Yeah.
They don't have to like the dollhouses, or they don't have to like the guns, or they don't have to like football. Like any like
they don't have to use a car as a car. It could be to listen or watch the wheels go around, or just line them up, to stack them up, to do whatever they want. Because there's no
Totally.
rules. For play is play, and it's whatever they do is totally like valuable.
yeah,
and, like,
absolutely.
amazing, because they're getting something out of it.
Yeah, and just finding something that you might be up for sometimes.
Yeah. I think for anyone who doesn't really feel they like play, or thinks they're not good at it, or not playful, or like when life is hard as well, like there's lots of families I'm working with where somebody has cancer, or there's stressful situations, and you're going, oh no, I'm not playing. No, and
I
you're just
know.
like sending them away. No, go on off yourself. No, I'm not playing with you. And then going to bed going, oh God, that was awful, I should have played. But it's like just acknowledging for yourself, right now it's hard. I'll start small, like I'll do the silly sentences or a word
Yeah.
game while I'm cooking.
Oh, I love the
Or
silly
just putting on
sentences.
music, that's play.
Yeah.
Like cooking together is play.
Yeah.
Play is anything that really brings joy and is free flow. It
Totally.
doesn't
Let's
have
do
to
a
be-
silly sentence.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Once.
A pun.
Sorry, I have to stop for a second because it's so funny, because I played this with so many children, and they go once, and then the next one goes and the next one goes pon. It's the cutest thing.
pon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Once
stop.
pon.
Once
It's so
a
cute. Okay,
pon.
sorry. Once.
Like pun is a word.
Yeah, it's adorable. Okay, once.
A pun. Time.
There.
Was. Cat.
Who.
Meowed.
And.
Sang.
Songs.
All.
Day.
Long.
The.
Dog.
Then.
Barked. What the hell? Do you know why cat and dog came into my head there? Because Jack's obsessed.
Is he?
He's obsessed with cats and dogs. And I spend my time going, oh, look, a doggy. Oh, look, a doggy. And if I want to get him into a buggy or do anything, I was like, we'll go see the doggies. It's the only way he'll get in. To the point that I went for a walk on my own the other night, and a dog passed, and my finger twitched and my arm went up, and I almost shouted, doggy!
Doggy.
Jack was at home. Imagine. Like,
Haley's walking around.
Poor lady going around the town
pointing.
shouting,
Doggy.
doggy. And there's no baby there. So yeah, he's obsessed. That's
And
why
are
that
you obsessed? Do you like dogs?
I love dogs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love dogs. I've never really been into cats now, but my neighbours
No.
have 2 cats and they're very cute, to be fair.
I know you're normally a cat person or a dog person.
I'm a dog
now,
person.
I'm a dog person, but I don't hate cats.
No, I would never hate
Some
any,
people like hate
but I'm a
cats.
bit scared of them.
Yeah.
My granny had a strange old cat,
Mm.
and it was a bit like... The cat used to terrify
My
me.
granny had a strange we have to put that on a poster.
Yeah, my granny had this. God rest her. She
God
had a
bless
cat
her.
that used to climb up the curtains and do his business on the top of the
Oh,
helmet
stop.
bit or whatever you called
That's
it.
disgusting.
Disgusting.
That is
Smell a cat
gross.
and all in the house. I don't like to smell
Smell
a
a
cat.
cat off you.
No, I think that turned me off them. And also John had Swifty, who was feral, he says.
Oh.
She used to be really
Was
scratchy.
he a pet?
Swifty?
Was it a girl or a
Yeah,
boy?
it was a girl. She used to scratch him and all and like be like proper like like
That was never your cat, was it? Was it his home cat?
his own cat before
Okay.
when he was like I don't know what age actually.
Yeah,
So I've heard bad stories about cats
I know.
that have put me off.
And like we do, like what we feel filters down to them as well, doesn't it?
Mm.
Do you know,
I'm trying
I've
to
always
like the
trying
cats.
to be like, you know, cats are grand because
Oh,
my
look, they're
like my
nice,
dad was
pretty.
always like fucking cats,
Yeah.
shit, you know,
Yeah.
drown them all.
Oh, yeah.
I know, very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would have been the way when they were overrun with like feral cats when they were younger.
Mm.
But some people absolutely hate them. But I tried to not let my feelings on them go down to
I
them. So I'm like,
know,
oh, they're all
yeah.
fine. Even though like they definitely feel the way I do about dogs because I'm obsessed with dogs.
Yeah. And he's very comfortable
so
with dogs,
cool.
but I'm a bit like, oh my God, he's trying to pet. Like my auntie's dog yesterday,
Yeah.
he did touch and pat it a bit. And I was like, trying to, do you know? Because you
Yeah.
just don't know.
I just think
but
you-
it was fine, thank God.
I
Obviously.
just don't know, can you ever trust a dog? And I know people can, and I don't mean that. I'm sure there's people
If
on
it's
here
your
who,
own
who,
one, but
like
you know
trust
when
them.
you're-
Yeah,
mm.
with children or whatever, but you just have to be so careful. I'm always trying to teach them that as well. But we have a dog, Wilbur.
Wilbur.
He's great fun.
Wilbur looks like he has a bob because the way his ears come. Whenever he comes
He's
onto
very
Zoom
cute.
with us, he's got.
They love him, like
Aw.
they love him so much, and they get so much play out of him as well. I'm like,
Yeah,
if
that's
they're
great play.
coming to me, I'm like, go play with the dog.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
they're like hanging out of the dog, and he's like
Unreal.
going, "This is great crack," but it's lovely.
That's
in
lovely
fairness.
play, isn't it? And like
Yeah.
that kind of nurturance and the calming effect, and they're so good for them.
Totally, yeah, it's so good. All that sensory input again from all the tactile elements of
Yeah.
like the fluff and everything is so nice. Anyway, we digress with Haley's
Slightly
granny's cat.
Sorry,
Is there anything else we want to say
I don't
about
know.
play?
I mean, I feel like we could talk about that forever, play, but just in that little.
We could. We haven't even gone
particular
through like all the therapeutic powers of play or anything
No.
like that because we don't want this to be like really educational, just
No.
like a chat so that you feel
But
a bit better
it
about
came
it.
up for me, I think, because I was like, I'm not playing enough with Jack. I'm not on the mat enough, and I'm a play therapist. So I was shaming myself. So I'm like, well, if I'm thinking this, I maybe it's just me. Maybe
Is it just us?
maybe there's more people out there. So I think it's so worth talking about, and I hope that was
Yeah,
helpful to
and like people think I go around like
leaping about.
completely, and I do, to be fair,
You are a big
a
kid.
lot, but I'm a playful human.
Yeah, and
nature.
your mom was super playful with
My
you.
mother's
and all,
super
yeah.
playful. My granny's bananas. And
Yeah.
my granddad was the most playful man on the planet
Oh,
until he
that's-
passed away there
shows.
last year. Like he just never stopped. Like
Yeah, which is
everything
unreal.
was a mess.
Yeah.
Every single thing that we ever did was a mess. Like
Yeah,
do you know,
it's so amazing to
it's
have
so
that
funny, but it
lightheartedness.
is a filter down to a lot of us. We're all bananas.
Yeah,
You wouldn't know
but
what
I think where it's come in for me with the not enough piece was because, like, I'm still not sleeping.
Yeah.
Excessive sleep. I'm still only getting like 4 hours of broken, and then I'm like, I don't have the energy to play with him, and like, I want to be like, and my sister comes in, she's like leaping about, and she's like, Jack, look, and she's jumping out, and and I'm like, I wanted to be
It's easy
that.
for aunties to be playful though.
I know, and I just feel like a bit like, oh, you know, but I'm
Yeah.
like, no, reset it. I am playful with him. I'm
You are.
always playful. Like, it's not about the high energy all the time.
No, or the hours on the floor.
Or the
on
hours
mat.
on crawling around. And him,
No.
when I'm not on the mat, he's getting great rich play himself, just tinkering about and doing his bits
Totally. And if you're literally
Yeah.
going, peekaboo,
all
you're
day
playing.
long. Yeah.
No, but like, you know, it's that easy. And he's like, all day long. We're so at different stages. Actually,
Yeah.
one thing just to note before we finish up this episode. If you're struggling with time, I think just to note about special playtime, because this is magic. It's so
Oh, yeah.
well researched. Like, you know, that Stanley Greenspan's floor space goes back to that as well. But if you have 5 minutes, not even every day, where they just choose, and it's a special little time, you don't ask them questions, you just say what they do. You don't even have to be able to play. You just watch them playing for 5 or 10
You can
minutes.
be the onlooker.
You can be the onlooker, narrate it, and just have that special present connection, minus a screen or a phone.
Yeah.
That's magic.
That's magic. It
And
actually is.
we have 5 minutes, or we have 10 minutes
And just
to
telling
do
them
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's a really lovely thing to do. So
100%.
just try and bring it back to that if you can. What's that phrase again, just to finish up? The George Bernard Shaw one, isn't it? It's like we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old
Because we stop playing. I just thought of the pub when you said the George Bernard.
What pub? Where are we going?
The Bernard Shaw
Where's that?
in Dublin.
Oh, go there for a pint and a play.
Yeah, play some board games.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks for
Send us an
listening.
email if you have any topics you'd like to hear, or if you want to comment on Hayley's granny's cat.
The cat was called Sally Jessie Raffaelli, by the way.
Sally Jessie Raffaelli.
Raffaelli. After the talk show host.
Was her name not Raphael?
Yeah, but we changed it.
You're very creative. Look at that. Play happening with the name of the cat.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.